the stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. Nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. The no bullshit approach to all financial markets, including Bitcoin, NFTs, and the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. Today on Market Mania, the pick of the day comes at you again, fast and furious. Michael Saylor went on Sean Hannity. GameStop earnings yesterday. El Salvador declared Bitcoin legal tender. Didn't have that on the 2021 bingo map, whatever. And Crypto Hantis. Well done, Tony, the producer, on today's preparations. Elizabeth Warren, U.S. lawmaker, puts Bitcoin on trial at the Senate CBDC hearing. And I know a lot of you on crypto Twitter, FinTwit, found this clip. I think it was a couple of minutes. And she basically parrots the Elon points about Bitcoin using a bunch of power. Brett Ritchie, what do you think of this person?
I'm not an Elizabeth Warren fan. I believe she's basically just a pandering phony, I guess would be a good way to put it. She'll say whatever is politically expedient for her in the moment. She's been that way her whole career. I don't think she's principled whatsoever. And she's benefited very much so, as much as almost anyone in the world, from the status quo. So, of course, she's not going to like Bitcoin. It threatens her position. It threatens the status quo that's made her obscenely wealthy. And I think that she's basically just a fraud. I'm glad she didn't win in the election. I'll say that.
Matt Glantz, Bitcoin, you've been battling the Bitcoin bros out there on Twitter. You've been just slapping them down left and right. Didn't let him go for a minute from the 60K down to 30K drop. What do you think about this politician popping off?
First of all, I see Tony has the title as Crypto Kahanis. What does that mean? I thought it'd be Crypto Hantis. We got to get an explanation on that.
Crypto
Pocahontas.
I'm not
Pocahontas.
All right.
Trump made fun of her. Trump called her Pocahontas because she said that she was Native American, but then she was only some small percentage or something. I don't know, because that's
I'm just wondering if Crypto Hantis would be a more easier word to say and use in the future, but that would be good. Either way, we'll get canceled. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't have any problem with Bitcoin. Like, I've owned Bitcoin. I've shorted it. I've been long it for a lot more times than I've been shorted. That's for sure. I don't have any problem with Bitcoin per se. Like, I think it's good and it's probably going to be a big part of the future. I just don't like the religious aspect of it. When people get all religious and, they're trying to get everyone else to buy their own bags and just like pump the coin no matter what. And then any negative news that comes out whatsoever about Bitcoin, the first thing they all say is, oh, well, this is actually good for Bitcoin because of this reason and this reason. And it's like they justify everything and they're so blinded by their own bias, they don't even see it. And they just think like Bitcoin is the only thing that could be the future. It's the only thing that's going to matter in the world. And if you're not invested in Bitcoin, then have fun staying poor. It's like ridiculous to say that to people.
HFSP, man.
Ridiculous. The religion. I'm very, very much against religion. We had the Trump religion last year with the politics, with the election. It's very much the same thing. And everyone gets involved in the religion. They get blinded by their own bias. And they just don't see the facts, don't see the truth, and are unwilling to see the other side.
I agree with Matt there. I mean, the Bitcoin maximalist crowd, which I don't consider myself a part of, I just think good ideas it's just a merit-based thing for me. I mean, I see some projects, very few out of all of the smorgasbord of shit coins that you see out there. There's very few, but there are some that are not Bitcoin that I think, wow, this is cool too. And I mean, it seems like there's no home for those people where you're like, oh, I can like this and this and this and not all these 100 things over here. And I mean, I agree with you, Matt. It's gotten fairly religious. People just gonna blow Michael Saylor, and then as soon as Elon goes negative, they're just gonna shit all over him. This Elizabeth Warren thing comes about because she has analysts. I tweeted it good right here last night, all fired up. And I mean, a politician says whatever they think is going to get them elected. She doesn't give a fuck about Bitcoin energy usage. She didn't wake up all angry about that. It's a hot topic. It's trending. She's going to get a lot of views. She's going to get a lot of clicks, and her base is going to agree. That's it.
She cares about the status quo. And speaking of pandering, remember in the election when she promised that she was going to let a trans child get veto power over her choice of like the Secretary of Education, some important position. It's totally ludicrous. Like saying, look, I'm Elizabeth Warren. I'm not qualified to pick this position, so I'm going to just pick a random kid and give him veto power over it. It's senseless. It's the type of politician she is. She'll just pander to what she considers to be her base in the moment, and she doesn't have a long-term outlook.
I think we all agree that Elizabeth Warren is fake. She's a panderer. She lied about being American
like all
Indian.
Politicians.
She's to the max. She's very good at it. That's her game. People eat it up. Whatever. She's just dust. But as far as Bitcoin goes, I'm a trader. So Bitcoin's just an asset. It's no different than ETH. It's no different than Tesla or Amazon stock, or currency or gold. They're all just assets to me. They're all just like, you just want to buy them low and sell them high. And if you can do that enough times, you're going to make money. But when you get religious about these things, I'm going to make fun of you. And that's all there is to it.
I mean, I'm not quite with you on the just an asset thing when it comes to crypto. I think that's some world-changing shit right there. But I am with you. No, hey, that's fair too. I like a lot of different things. But I am with you on the religious aspect. I don't like anybody that comes from a point where like, hey, this idea that was first is the only idea that's allowed to enter the conversation. And to the history of time, we're only allowed to like this one thing. I don't like that either. But I do like El Salvador, despite the potential authoritarian president that led this to happen. It's still pretty fucking awesome. You always get authoritarianism flying in different directions. You got Duarte over there, and they're just locking up all the drug addicts. And then, you got this authoritarian president and just making Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador. I mean, shit. Like if you're going to usually have it go bad and one time it, potentially does pretty good here. I don't know. You got to support this. I mean, this is my buddy Andreas said it best when he downloaded Bitcoin QT 10 years ago. He sure never thought we'd be late night on Twitter with 20,000 of our friends listening to a sovereign nation president talk about how they're all fired up to make Bitcoin legal tender. It's pretty fucking amazing, isn't it? That's you can see why they get religious though, Matt.
I don't know anything about El Salvador. I've been to Costa Rica. I know a lot of people that have been to Panama. But I don't know anyone. I don't have one friend that's ever been to El Salvador. So I'm guessing this guy's a dictator. I'm guessing the country's really shitty. It's not one place you want to visit. So I'm guessing the people don't have much control. And if this guy is, saying we want Bitcoin, I'm sure it's because he has some method or some way that he thinks he's going to control the people with it.
My man's is all trimmed up nicely, though. You got to admit that. Look at that beard.
Looks good.
I mean, that's right from the barber. He had somebody line him up right before giving that speech.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. You think that he bought some Bitcoin personally before he made that announcement?
Fuck if I know. I know nothing about the dude. But I mean, would that shock me? No. Like did the country load up too? Did the coffers, load BTCs on the dip? Did they buy the dip? Did El Salvador buy the dip and then announce?
So, well, first off, this article is like through 1979 here. But everyone throws out authoritarian or whatever. Honestly, I've never even heard of this guy until a few days ago. I know that the U.S., the machine, loves calling its opponents or people that aren't necessarily in circle authoritarian. So I'm reserving my judgment. I honestly just haven't paid any attention. One thing I will say is 20% of the GDP of El Salvador is remittances. So they're basically people that leave El Salvador and sending money back to their family in El Salvador makes up a lot of the money in El Salvador. So the current system there, Western Union, shit like that, Bitcoin is 100% an improvement over. Would a stable coin be better? In my opinion, yes, right? But it makes sense. Bitcoin community has been, I mean, they've become powerful, right? There's a lot of money involved. And the playbook is essentially, if you join us, you're going to, like as a nation or a company or something, like we'll help pump your bags and we're going to celebrate you no matter what. Like we're not going to look into your history. It doesn't matter whether you're a bad or like good person or like whatever reasons you're doing it for. It's this, as Matt said, this like religious cult that is going to celebrate blindly anybody that accepts Bitcoin. You're going to just be blindly celebrated by these like carnival barkers on Twitter. So it makes sense for a country like El Salvador, which is like fairly poor, small. It's not really important on the world stage. Why wouldn't you gamble on this, on Bitcoin, right? It does solve a need for your citizens with remittances, and the upside's there. So like, I think it's a smart move from their standpoint.
Here's the thing, Brett. So to our viewers, I have to apologize because we are not the sharpest or the smartest guys in the political, economic events of Central America. But there is a guy you can follow on Twitter and get the real details. I think his name is Pompanea. That guy's really sharp, and he knows about this stuff with El Salvador and Bitcoin and how it's gonna explode all over the world because of this. So you should really follow this guy Pomp, and he really knows his stuff.
If you can follow that guy for a week, you're a better man than I am, because that is impossible to follow him.
I will say on the El Salvador thing, before we get to the juicy GameStop earnings, that, I mean, you have a situation here where it's like, I agree essentially with what both of you said, where like, I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know if he's authoritarian. That's what I've been reading, but I didn't look in deeply. And is Bitcoin going to solve everything? No, I would have liked to have a pan crypto approach where everything's, or at least some of the good ones are allowed, embraced, legal tenderized. And, because I mean, if 20% remittance, a lot of those are going to be $50, $100 shots. If the mempool gets clogged, and then like, you're just like, all right, it's going to cost you $17 to ship it along. Okay, but you can wait a week and maybe get it down to like 40 cents.
Tron USDC solves that.
Work. And I'm not even going to argue that. In that, like, you're right. There are other choices. I don't particularly like Tron, but that is a reason. But it's reasonable. Like,
they do a lot of stablecoin volume on Tron. USDT, not TC on that.
A lot of it's like obviously exchange to exchange. You just can get a low fee to just ship it along from one to another. That's kind of what they're looking for remittance. Bitcoin Cash would also work fairly well. Right. And
Mike, I have no action to this fight, so I try to stay objective. But what I would say is, when I first saw this, my thought was, well, is this guy, this leader of El Salvador, is he embracing Bitcoin to help his country, or is he embracing Bitcoin because he thinks that'll make it easier or better for him to exert his power over his people?
They're going to see an immediate bump. And first of all, a lot of these dictators in a smaller country like that, they want to create jobs. Their economy's in the shitter compared to the rest of the world. So they want action. When they do this, Binance is going to immediately ape in. FTX is likely going to ape in. CZ can't wait to build a building down there, throw the Binance logo in front of it, take the picture.
Justin already said they're building there. He's only 40. He's really young for like a world leader. So I don't have anything to that, but he's young.
If it's a place like here, it's bigger than here, where I live. But I mean, if he creates like a couple thousand jobs and brings like a couple dozen like heavy hitter companies in there, 150 crypto companies show up, that's going to make material change in that country, just from an economic standpoint, from a job standpoint. And this guy's going to look like a king if that works.
I like it. Makes sense.
Yeah. And so we'll see. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, let's keep watching it. We're not going to blindly pledge allegiance to El Salvador.
Yeah, it was a plus EV move from El Salvador's perspective.
We'll keep following Pomp on Twitter to get the lowdown and see what's going on, so we can know how to opine on the situation.
And all the other geopolitical experts on.
He's my favorite.
Loud voices. It's
because
good.
Any,
it's good.
Any situation, any price move in Bitcoin, you can just know what he's going to say before he says it.
He's going to buy the dip. You could write a GPT-3 algo for Palm's Twitter. You didn't have to do it. GameStop. Matt Glantz. GameStop. It's just somehow, I thought we'd be done by this. Earlier this year, I thought this wouldn't even be a story by now. I thought it'd be back to like $23 a share and no one really cares. But holy shit, this thing had pumped to 300 plus and then took a dip today.
The people were not happy with the earnings. I think expectations were, or hope was, that the stock was over 300 for earnings. And they hoped that they were going to announce they were going to crypto or NFTs or some kind of exotic, flavor of the day kind of thing. And that's what they were going to announce. So they didn't announce that. Stock was down like, I don't know, 10, $20 after they announced earnings, not much. But all day it's been selling off. Now it's down $58, $244. So people did not like the absence of something exciting. And, Ryan Cohen got approved as chairman of the board yesterday, and they brought over those two big wigs from Amazon to run the company. So, they have things in place, but, stock is just priced for perfection times 10. So, it's hard to justify the stock. Yesterday, for example, before the earnings, the 680 calls, $680 calls with a stock of 300 were trading like $5 that expire next Friday. So, and those things are down. Now those things are like 30 cents or something. So they're like zero basically. But yesterday there was a lot of expectation that the stock would be, like $500 to $700 a share if things went well on the earnings call. And those calls were trading tens of thousands of volume all day long. So it's like, this is big money playing here.
This is the new investing. This is how investing is.
Retail is getting wrecked today. I can tell you
investing. This is somehow dragging AMC down, which is a similar kind of storyline where Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, everybody pumps some symbol. Is all. So it's just some strange Ponzi game.
Yeah, all the meme stocks are somewhat correlated, unless there's specific news on one of them. They all seem to go down or up the same, on the same days. Like all the meme stocks are pretty much down today, and usually GameStop and AMC lead that charge. There are times when one's up and one's down, but in general they move. It's almost like they're part of a basket that trades like an ETF.
There's a Reddit-based, Twitter-based, TikTok-based investment strategy now where there's no research done. Fundamentals don't matter. It's simply just is basically like kind of a stock to flow thing where if there's more buyers than sellers, if everybody can just choose a ticker and ape in all at the same time, number will go up. And then it's like, who can now play the greater fool game better and exit before everybody leaves and goes to the next one. And it's just, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is welcome to meme stock investing, which somehow has lasted months. I thought it was going to last a week.
It's the future. And whether it's these stocks or it's just people are, to me, this is not like a one-off thing between GameStop and AMC.
BlackBerry, Nokia briefly.
Top Shot, I think you can kind of put into this category. It's like this gamified trading people are really interested in. NFTs, I think, share some similarities here. So I actually like GameStop from the earnings call. I'm not necessarily saying to buy this dip just because it was so high, but they're bringing these Amazon guys in, which is good to me. They're selling some shares, I believe, which is another reason the stock might be going down. But I think 5 million shares, but that's nothing. It's good for them to have money, right? You want them to be successful. And they already mentioned this NFT play that they're looking at. And to me, I think that's quite bullish. So you have the guy from Chewy as chairman of the board. You've got 3 Amazon people now basically running the company. And that e-commerce playbook, these guys know how to run it. They have this tremendous brand and this amazing support. And I still think one of the best things that ever happened to GameStop was Robinhood and these Wall Street stopping the train the first time. So people aren't mad they had at GameStop. The stock crashed because of the evil Wall Street people. And GameStop kind of got away without having to take the fall for their falling stock price.
You're right there. AMC said they had $2 billion in cash after their recent fire sales of secondary offerings at this ridiculously inflated stock price. This company just earlier this year, Glantz, I remember you called this out a while ago at $2.50, $3 a share at AMC. You're like, well, they need a loan, but this thing could fly if it does. Now they got $2 billion in cash. I think they raised like $900 million back when they were busto on some terrible debt terms. Now they're just sitting on 2B cash after, Reddit pumps their stock. They can do a secondary here and there. Kind of shocked that like the regulators allowed all that to happen. Sort of reminded you of that Hertz play.
Did you freeze
Mike on froze.
I just want to mention, if you remember, Brett, how this all started with GME back in January. So GME was a huge short squeeze. Nothing more. Wasn't not necessarily a meme stock at the time. It was just an enormous short squeeze, and it went from 10 or 20 to I don't know 4 something.
It might have even been
like
$6. Yeah,
right?
It was low.
And everyone, all of us, every person just assumed that once the short squeeze was over, it would go back down to 40, 30, 20, whatever.
I called it 60.
Did. What's that?
I called 60, the price of a game. That was what I thought it was going to be.
But everyone in the world just assumed once the short squeeze was over, the stock would go back down, and it never did. It went down to it went down to 150 or something, and it's 240 now.
No, it hit 80 for sure.
Oh, the first, on the first run down, but then I think it went from down to 80 and then back up to 300 or something.
Yeah.
But when all that was over, it never went back down to original levels or even close. Yeah. And it's holding steady for months. So the thing is, that's the same thing with AMC now. So AMC went from $2 to 60 and now it's 42. And there's no telling how long these stocks will stay up these levels. But they obviously, by historical metrics, they don't justify these levels, but nobody knows. They could stay there for years. And
I mean, they
stuck in it.
They can pivot into these other, GameStop is kind of pivoting from physical stores to an e-commerce platform, potentially with this NFT marketplace. Again, with their brand, I mean, why can't they actually fulfill on this valuation? I think the upside is there for the stock. It's just, I wouldn't say it's necessarily cheap considering the upside, but there is a scenario in which you can make money here. It just may not be often.
I'm excited, Brett, to talk about Saylor on Hannity because this is one guy that you don't like and one guy that is one of your heroes. So opposite most poker players, Hannity is one of your heroes. So let's talk about this Fox News segment.
All right, I'm going to play just a few seconds of this, then I'll let you guys have it, and we'll bring back Mike on here shortly. Uh-oh, 1 second.
Them.
Well, first of all, it's the most successful technology in our lifetimes. It's grown faster and more powerfully than Google or Facebook or Apple or Amazon. And it's a network and an asset that's held by about 150 million people, and we're adding 2 million people a week. So other than the dollar and the euro, it's the most widely held monetary asset in the world. And there's every indication that nation states are embracing it. Jerome Powell says it's a digital asset. Christina Lagarde says it's a digital asset. The head of the SEC taught a class on it. I think that people understand it's not a threat to the dollar, by the way.
So I had to stop it there. We'd probably get cut off or banned, but I mean, it's great to see guys like Saylor on there. So what do you guys think?
I'm not a fan of this guy at all. Not a fan. He seems like a creep to me.
What does that mean, Matt?
He seems creepy. I guess, what was it, Avenatti? Remember Avenatti, Michael Avenatti? All the libs loved him. He was going to be the next presidential candidate at the time, and he was, on CNN every day and CNBC, and I was railing. I was like, this guy's just a creep. There's something off about him. I just think he's scum, whatever. And it turned out that Avenatti was scum, and this guy Saylor reminds me of the same thing. There's something underneath that I just don't trust. And nothing to do with Bitcoin.
I just don't like what he's doing. It's just, to me, it's a little insane that he's just keep on. There's the clip that went pretty viral of him saying, mortgage your house, basically sell everything you can to buy Bitcoin, which is really irresponsible to tell this retail audience. Again, MicroStrategy was some other company, there was a $1 billion company or whatever doing some. I don't even know what they did. And then he just turned it into basically a Bitcoin ETF. And again, it worked because the Bitcoin community is going to rally behind that. But again, it's no matter what you are, where on the spectrum from like evil to great, no idea where Saylor particularly is. If you support Bitcoin, they'll all support you no matter what. So it's really attractive for like less scrupulous people to come in and publicly support Bitcoin or get involved because they know they're going to have this influential community just blindly shilling them.
No kings, no masters. I don't care about Michael Saylor. I don't care about Elon Musk. It doesn't. One person. I don't deify anybody. I don't personally think that that's a good thing to do. But people love to have these type of people to rally behind. People that have made a high conviction, massive, 10-digit play, 10-digit play on their bags. Of course they're just gonna blindly love the guy without doing much research. I mean, it's part of the religious aspect Matt hates, and touched on earlier. Yeah, and that's it. Hannity's obviously ridiculous. Also, it's like whatever. Yeah. They're all
not a Hannity fan. I don't pay him any attention.
It's the perfect combo it's a perfect combo of the Trump religion and the Bitcoin religion in that one segment. It's the Hannity and Saylor. It's just like the epitome. I love it.
See, I don't think I think Hannity is more of just like the mainstream institutional, like conservative type of. But
he was involved with the whole Trump pumping the whole time last year, and
Hannity went laser eyes. Oh, didn't they shared that scumbag lawyer, right? Or one of the scumbag lawyers?
No,
the Michael Cohen or something. Didn't they share the lawyer or something?
Something like that. There was some connection there. Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to cleanse myself of all politics and all things. Tony, the producer.
I just wanted to point out real quick in chat, this is pretty astute. Malik Sealy says, look at the clip again. He had the Jesus circle behind him that had to be planned.
That's not the Jesus circle. That is the fractal encrypt full node. I think there's 10 ever. He just sold the last one, made an all mirror, and it represents a full Bitcoin node. And that piece of art is fucking awesome, no matter what you think of Michael Saylor. And I don't want that mislabeled as some bullshit religious thing.
Fair enough. But the parallels give one pause too. It's almost like we're on some sort of script we just can't get off. These memes keep happening. These concepts.
There's an algorithm. The SHA 256 algorithm is like on the outer. There's like dozens of rings, and it's handcrafted. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful piece.
All right,
beautiful Bitcoin.
How much do they cost? There's only 10 of them.
I think the first one went for like 20, 30K. Then that one went for like 50, and they sold the mirror one for like, I think Fractal Encrypt got like 400,000 on a scarce.city auction during the Miami event. Wow. Somewhere around there. You'll have to check 534,000 I'm looking at. Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome. I was hoping it worked. Like it actually worked as a Bitcoin node, but it is just a sculpture, so I understand. But there's cool shit all over it. You should read about it. Read about Fractal Encrypt's full node sculptures. They're fucking awesome. Now, though, if you're not going to read about that and that's out of your price range, what is in your price range is the Market Mania pick of the day. Ape season took a pause. I think it might be back on with El Salvador, but safety glasses did not. And it is the do your own research Market Mania. This is not investment advice. A lot of people mistake this for investment advice, but don't do that. We make sure to tell you it's not. And Matt Glantz, we're just gamblers. And what's your pick of the day?
My pick of the day is Tesla. And this is not a religion because I do long it and I short it from time to time. But tonight is a big event. They're launching their Plaid Model S. They have like thousands of these cars in parking lots waiting to go. So this is when they start delivering them tonight. 7 p.m. West Coast time is the big event. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to also release a prototype of the big Tesla semi-truck. So I think there's a lot of catalysts going forward, and the full self-driving is coming out soon or close to full self-driving, I should say. Not the full self-driving, but there's a lot of catalysts in the very near future that could take this stock over 700. So I'm long a lot of it. I would recommend being long it at least for this week, but who knows what happens next week.
This week, Tesla play. Gotta love it. Brett Ritchie, pick of the day.
I'm rolling with Wendy's. The stock, Tony, not crypto.
1 second.
So, as Matt pointed out, all the meme stocks go along with GameStop. GameStop crashed. Wendy's, I touted this one a couple months ago. It finally got hot like last week. Reddit was all over it. If you look at the chart, I don't know if we can see the chart, but it's like flat, a massive spike up, massive spike back down. And I still don't think like the steam was really rolling on Wendy's yet. And I think that this sort of GameStop crashing kind of like brought that to a halt. And I think that this thing could run. It's a low-ish market cap, $5 billion. And I think that Reddit likes it. I mean, I think there's a lot that could go right here. Just as basically a gamble, but I like it as a meme stock gamble.
Fun stuff. They are fire on Twitter too, which
great social media
has to help. I'm going with another meme stock, this Invesco Mortgage. Don't know anything about it. This is a take your money to the craps table kind of play. IVR, the Twitter, Reddit, TikTokiverse is just a buzz. And that's what it takes for short-term plays, is just everybody to buy all at once, or lots of people to buy. 1.2 billion cap. Obviously, that can be moved by this new, strange, very weird game. It's really like a game within the stock market, this new meme stock thing, and that's my pick of the day for you. Not investment advice, though. Not investment advice. That's going to do it for Market Mania on this Thursday, June 10th. Still kind of in a pandemic, but we're going to leave you with one from Chance the Rapper. A lot of people love Chance the Rapper and his Everybody's Something. And it goes like this. I got the Chicago blues. We invented rock before the Stones got through. We just aim it back because the cops shot you. Buck, buck, bang, bang, yelling fuck Fox News. From Chance the Rapper. Good stuff. Like and subscribe to this show right here on YouTube. And follow us at Market Mania Show on TikTok and Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold or a domino, out of control. The usual. Get mad cause I'm looking at your girl. Switch it up. I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury. Power of turning where I would turn it. Can't lie like it's Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine it look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind. Was afraid of the time. Strobe light like in the moonlight. I'm in the mood.